Welcome back, everyone, to our Nostalgic or Problematic series where we are rewatching Dawson's Creek, and we are on season 4. We are going to talk about episode 5 and 6 today, but before we do that, we're going to talk about something that happened this week related to Dawson's Creek.
Yes.
And that is, y'all remember we had our adventure trying to get tickets to this. They did their Dawson's Creek reunion where they the cast got together at a theater in New York, and
Richard Rogers Theater, the
Richard
Hamilton
Rogers Theater.
Yeah.
That's right. Which matters.
It does.
And they read through the pilot episode. I cannot even tell you, this has been all over my feed.
Mine too.
And it has brought me joy and sadness.
Same.
Okay. So tell everybody who doesn't know what ended up happening.
Okay. So yes, everyone from the original pilot and a few fill-ins were going to be there to read through, and including obviously James Van Der Beek, Dawson. And as most of us know, he is battling colorectal cancer, which was the whole point of this, to raise money and awareness. And so he got a bad stomach virus.
Two back to back. And it just wasn't safe or smart for him to travel and be in New York and be in public with his immunity the way it is, and also just not feeling good. So he had an understudy go in, which Richard Rogers Theater, remember, Lin-Manuel Miranda filled in as the role of Dawson Leary. So let's pause for a second on that, because I was thinking about that. And I'm like, okay, back in 1998, 99, 2000, nobody knew who Lin-Manuel Miranda was. Most people didn't know until Hamilton came out. Now, he had done some other things. He wrote the score for, In the Heights, he had done. I'm just saying, like, the general public. Not everybody knew that. And he had done the score for Moana. Yeah.
But, like, generally, he wasn't a household name.
He didn't explode.
He wasn't a household name, right. So you think about that. But he has said before that he was a huge Dawson's Creek fan. So, I don't know. It'd almost be like you or I being able to, like, fill in for Katie Holmes,
Seriously.
you know, when, like, back then.
Oh, but
not to, like, make this.
You're comparing us to Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I'm saying, like,
I feel like if Katie Holmes gave us a call,
it'd be like that, you guys. Look, we just haven't blown up yet. Okay, we're getting there. So obviously, Lin-Manuel Miranda was happy to do that, but as you mentioned, it was joyful and sad, because it's like, imagine Lin-Manuel Miranda playing you, but also, like, obviously everyone wanted to see him.
And he wanted to be there.
And
he was so sick.
And he did call in virtually to thank everyone for being there. He's very, very thin. I saw a few people on social, everyone's commenting on how thin he is. Well, obviously he's very sick. But a few people were like, oh, man, he's reminding me of Patrick Swayze at the end. And I was like, oh. But we know he's fighting for his life out there. And he was well-spoken on the video. Like, seems, as much as he can be, forward-facing mentally to be doing well. Of course, all 6 of his children were at this event, and his wife. 2 of his kids sang start of the opening on the Richard Rogers stage. It was cool because in some of the clips you can see part of the Hamilton set behind them, which is really cool. They had a big, like, screen in front, but you could still see it. And so, like, 2 of his kids were singing, and then the rest of his family came out. And then you've got Lin-Manuel, and you've got Katie Holmes and Joshua Jackson and Jack Kerr and everybody. And Graham's, her hair,
right?
It was so good.
I loved that she was there.
Me
and
too.
Then it reminded me, like, she was not as old as they made her seem when she was on that show.
Right, because she looks about as old now as we were supposed to believe she was then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, they aged her.
They aged her for that. And I think, Lin-Manuel did like a post with a bunch of different posts. Some were videos, some weren't. And there's just this part, I don't know if you've seen it, where Graham's, I can't remember her name in real life, is saying one of her lines to Jen, in that Graham's voice. And Joshua Jackson just starts giggling and can't stop. He's like, like he's like scared of, like, whatever the line is, and Graham's kind of like looks at him, and he's like freezes up, like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble with Graham's.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And you could tell it was coming from, like, Lin-Manuel's, like, camera, like he was taking it. And so he, like, captioned it like Joshua Jackson completely being back in that moment when the actress was playing Graham's. Aww. It was really cute.
Can we talk about the kiss between him and Busy Phillips?
What? Okay.
I was like, that we didn't know that was coming, because she was reading for Tamara.
Yes.
Tamara.
I wonder why they didn't have that actress.
Is she alive?
You know what? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, because Busy Phillips, she comes in, I think, next
In the
season,
college
and she
years.
stayed on.
Yeah.
So I mean, she's part of it way more than
I'm just curious
her.
if that actress maybe doesn't want to be there for the
or maybe
pilot.
not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm glad that they brought Busy Phillips in.
Me too. I love
and Jack
her.
and Andie, because they were there, and
Yeah.
like they weren't in the pilot either, and so
Right. It was nice. They had a lot of
Because
familiar faces.
they read a bunch of different parts.
They did, because there were other people in that episode outside the main four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's like we talked about when we talked about Waiting to Exhale.
Oh God.
When you have a cast that just is cohesive, so cohesive, and you see them together again, you can tell they really like each other. Like they really did care about each other. They had genuine relationships. And listen, I'm sorry, Joshua Jackson and Katie Holmes, they still got some fire up in there, and I would love to see what happens in the next year or so.
Me too. And I also just liked how they were all, of course they looked nice, but they were all kind of toned down. Like Katie Holmes just had on, I don't know, sort of like a normal as you can be for a celebrity, like outfit. I'm sure she was wearing makeup and stuff, but nobody looked too like glamorous or crazy. Like they looked nice, but they just like looked casual, and I don't know, it was just a really warm feeling.
And then
watching it,
I saw a video of them coming out of the theater and like greeting fans. And you know who I loved seeing with their fans the most was Mitch.
Oh, Mitch!
He came out with this big old smile. Aww. He was holding people's cameras, taking pictures. Like everybody was doing that, but you know how some people just relate to their fans a little bit more,
right?
He was like all like it was adorable.
You could tell he was really all of them, but he definitely was really soaking in the moment.
Yeah.
But even then there was that air of sadness because, James Van Der Beek wasn't there. And even if he had been there, that sadness would have been there because of the reason you're there.
Reason they're there
and
anyway.
You can tell, like you said, you can tell they're all still friends and they have like those relationships, and you can tell they really care about him.
Yeah.
And his children.
I know.
And like, oof.
But you know what? Kerr Smith came out with a statement. I didn't read all the details. I just saw a little blurb about it.
Mm-hmm.
He said he wrote a script for a Dawson's Creek spinoff.
Okay.
That has, this is a spoiler. If you have never watched the whole thing of Dawson's Creek, you don't want to know this part. Him and Pacey's brother end up together at the end.
Oh, okay. Dougie?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's them still in Capeside.
Okay.
And then their kids.
Oh, I love it.
Which, oh my God.
I'm here for that.
We would so be here for that.
Yeah.
I think that would be a multi-generational show.
Can we have James Van Der Beek's kids on the show, though?
I know.
And Katie Holmes' daughter.
I don't know.
Everybody.
So anyway, I saw he said, no, it's there. And the brother, whoever the actor's name playing Doug, said, oh, I'm totally on board. Like, let's do it. So we'll see if that happens.
Oh, that would be great. I would love that. So yeah, and just kind of, it's interesting because Dawson's Creek, not to be like too corny, but like it's become part of my weekly routine.
Yeah.
We've been doing this
for a while,
over a year, maybe a year and a half at this point for Dawson's, the podcast closer to 2 years.
Yeah.
And I guess it was the same when it was on and you would watch it every week. Maybe it's the same vibe.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm always doing that. It's always on my to-do list and I'm touching base with these actors every week.
I know.
And so then for this real life thing that's so heavy to be happening, and then I'm going back and seeing them back then. I'm having a little trouble.
It's jarring.
And we'll talk about it, but there's some parts in these 2 episodes specifically that I was like, man, that hits hard right now.
It's true.
But we'll get into it.
Okay, so let's jump into the episodes. Season 4, episode 5 is called A Family Way. Here is the summary. As Dawson discovers his mom is pregnant, Joey struggles with deciding when to start having sex with Pacey. Jack's sexual orientation causes a problem with his coaching a youth soccer team.
Oh, yeah.
Saw
that coming.
This had a lot, but it was a good episode.
I thought it was a really good episode.
It was a really good episode.
Really, really good. First thing I said right off the bat, Gail pregnant, exclamation point.
Girl, I said, oh my God, if I got pregnant at our age, nope.
And they're in their early 40s, yeah? That's what they're supposed to be? Mm-hmm. They do, okay. I was
they're our age.
For it, but yeah, okay. And obviously have a almost full grown child. So it's not like they started having kids later and they've got a few little ones. It's like
have almost completed parenting with one completely. Well, childhood parenting. And now we've got another one coming. I know I liked how especially excited like Mitch was and that sort of thing. I don't know. I mean, they wrote it really well.
I thought they did too.
And I thought what was really kind of cool about it, and we didn't see as much back then, there was a lot of stuff in pop culture about abortion as a choice for young people and that thing. But to have it presented as a choice for a married couple who were older, I thought that was something we wouldn't have really seen back then.
Well, I think it's important because the narrative around abortion from people who are against it paints a picture of people who use abortion as birth control.
Yeah.
Which is ludicrous. Sorry, I was trying to think of a whatever. It's ludicrous. I know lots of people in my life who have had abortions and not nary a one has been for birth control reasons.
Right.
Meaning that it's something they take lightly, right?
Correct.
Like, oh, well, the condom broke, whatever. I'm just going to go get this abortion taken. Not one person. And everybody I know who's had one has been various ages, single, married, coupled, whatever. And they have had different reasons for having it done.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And I think that this was so important because it's important to see that you need to fully understand what abortion is and with a complete picture. This isn't the complete picture.
No.
But the narrative that we were being given at the time was it was only about young people and,
who made a mistake, who weren't in stable
who
relationships.
Weren't being responsible.
Right.
Right. I think that was good. And I loved Mitch's attitude about it whole time.
Me too.
I really, really did. Because he did not push her one way or another.
Right.
He told her how he felt, as he should.
Well, sure. And he was visibly and vocally excited about the idea of having a baby. But he was also, and he even defended it to Dawson when Dawson was like, oh, I can't believe like she would not. And he said, you know what? It's her decision.
Right. Because that's why he's like, Dad, I can't believe you're letting her do this.
That's what he said.
And he was like, no, that's not. And you know what I have to say? My husband is when we had Caden, I had a really hard time after for lots of reasons. And I'm like, I can't do this again. Like my body doesn't do birthing and pregnancy well. I'm just not made. Some people's bodies, perfect, made well, great. My body has a hard time adjusting back after. So I get really, really bad mental health things after until my hormones level, which I know now, but I didn't know then what was going on.
Right.
So I said, I can't do this again. I don't want to have any more kids. Don't want to. And he was like Mitch. He was like, well, that makes me sad, but it's up to you. You're the one who has to go through it, especially because he was gone all the time. And he's like,
right.
You are the one who has to carry it and you have to carry it to your body. So he respected that. And then I changed my mind multiple times.
Respected that too.
Because then we tried again and I lost a baby. And so I was like, I really can't do this again.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's okay. I understand. So I think, and then I changed my mind again. And then of course we had Cooper.
And yes,
obviously everybody's like, well, you have 2 kids. Yes, correct. Because I changed my mind.
Change your mind again.
But I think knowing that you have a partner who will say, I feel this way, but I understand it is mostly on you.
Correct.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, that is half my genes in your womb.
Right.
But and I'm sorry if y'all don't like this, men out there. We do. If we are birthing the baby, it is on us. We have to change the way we eat. We have to change the way we take care of ourselves. Our body is fucking wrecked. Like for some people, it goes back to normal, and some of us it doesn't. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's important to show that men.
I think this was great. And that's exactly what happened when I was pregnant with Tegan, but I was already pregnant.
Right.
Brant was like, my husband was like, I'm happy, but I also am okay with you not being happy.
Right.
Like, it's okay. To which I got mad.
Of course.
I was like, how dare you?
Well, you're hormonal.
How dare you say I can do what I want? How dare you?
How dare you say the exact right thing?
Now I just don't know what to do at all. So I'm just going to go over here and not talk to you. But, hey, that choice is my 10-year-old, almost 11-year-old now, my youngest. And I have to be really careful when I talk about things like that story I just told you.
Yeah.
And then with my oldest, because I was a single mom and I made the choice. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. My phone is ringing. I guess it was scam likely.
Never heard your phone ring.
It's
always on like vibrate.
You know why? Because at the story I told you earlier, I was waiting for a call last night.
That's so funny.
I think I'll just turn it off because I don't really need it. So I talk about, even in my book I'm writing, briefly, because I don't want it to be about that, but I talk about being a single parent and making that choice to become a parent when I could have not.
Right.
And I have to be really careful because I don't ever want it to sound preachy
or self-righteous.
Or like, well, I made this choice and I don't regret it. And I'm so glad I 100%. Didn't. Because the key word is choice.
Choice. That's it.
And that I could have made a different one.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go as far as to be like, and everything still would have been fine because like, I of course can't imagine my life without the children that came from those. But like, I have to be really careful because I'm not saying,
right,
I did it, so can you.
Right.
I'm just saying, look, this is what I picked.
That's what you picked.
You know?
And you have a right
how
to have the choice to choose.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you have the right to choose. And I mean, I will full up say I've never had an abortion, but let me tell you what, I took morning after pill in college.
Yeah.
Sure did. Same premise as just earlier.
Yeah, it's just earlier. It's the same premise.
Now I have no problem saying that because it's something I did. I didn't do it with a prescription, which is not safe. So don't do that, because basically all a morning after pill is it's like, it's almost like a triple dose of birth control pills. It prevents things from continuing to occur.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's not exactly the right science. So don't sound like that and then be like, go try to make your own. Don't, please God.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
But I will say you should, like, that's the thing that we both, like we're saying, you should have the choice. Women should have the choice, which is what they presented in the show.
And at a different age and all of the things.
The only thing I'm going to say is that they presented it also with Gretchen.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that got a little preachy.
It did. And didn't she say she miscarried?
Yes. But she was like, I don't know.
I get what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? It felt a little different.
And it also felt very, and I don't think they meant to, but it was like, that's the whole reason you came home. Mm-hmm. Like that felt very cautionary tale. Like you can't get pregnant in college and stay at college, or you can't get pregnant and have a miscarriage because now you're just ruined and you have to come home.
Right.
I didn't like that either.
Right.
But the other side of that is maybe she was struggling mentally from that for whatever reason, from, just being nervous about maybe being a parent, and then the physical trauma of a miscarriage and all of that was what made her need to come home. But it just felt a little like, okay, so I guess don't get pregnant in college. Like what? Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Something about hers just felt
hers was a little off. Hers was off. Okay. So moving on, we have a mention of E! True Hollywood Story.
I know.
I loved that.
Oh
my God. I loved E! True Hollywood Story. So good. I loved when Mr. Brooks, that's the older gentleman who in a previous episode, Dawson messed up his boat trying to save his friends. So Dawson is now repainting his house, which, first of all, the amount of effort that Dawson is putting into this. Also, they're always painting houses. That's all these young men do.
In fucking Capeside.
And Mr. Brooks says something because he reaches for Dawson's photography and is like going through it. And Dawson's like, don't touch my personal property. And he's like, oh, don't talk to me about the sanctity of personal property. And I thought that was just such a funny line.
Oh my God.
And then I wrote down, is this about sex? Oh, because Joey's at lunch and she just like looks all sad. And Jen's like, what's wrong? And she's like, what if this? And what if that? And how would you feel if, and Jen just goes, is this about sex?
She's like, how'd you know? She's like, because it always is.
Yeah.
Which is true.
I thought that was so good.
Yeah, I will say I appreciated too that they showed like Joey taking initiative for her sexual health before she had sex.
Agree.
Because I think a lot of teenage girls wait till after to take it, or they rely on the guy to have protection.
Right.
And, so I like that they showed, and I like that they showed it's fucking awkward. Like it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I love what the doctor said. She said, Joey, if you're not ready to talk about this, you're not ready to have sex.
Yep.
Which goes back to my 3 C's, everybody. Do
Yes.
you remember them? If you can't communicate about it, you do not, and you aren't ready to talk about the consequences, you're not ready to do it.
You're not ready. Yeah.
That's a real easy way to figure that out. Now, that doesn't mean if you're nervous, you're not ready. But if you can't verbalize and chat about it,
right.
nah.
And I like that the doctor pointed that out, but like they also still gave her all the tools.
Yeah.
Right. Like it wasn't like, well, get out of here. Come back when you're
Well,
ready.
I also
it was
like,
here you go. But
yeah,
think about this.
I also like that they did all that, and then she was supposed to go back in a week for her pelvic exam. I like that because that gives you time to think about it.
Agree.
And it's not all at once, especially if you've never had a pelvic exam before, which you may not have if you're not sexually active yet as a teenage girl. They're not fun the first time. Well, they're never fun.
No.
But I cried. I remember because I was young. I mean, I was like 15 because I was having problems. And my mom brought me to her gynecologist. He was a man.
Ugh.
And no offense, but
men gynecologists.
I only prefer to go to women. That's just me. And I was crying. It was miserable. Oh my God. It was the worst experience.
Oh man.
It was, oh my God. It was,
I don't even remember.
Like, well, I just remember because it was traumatic.
Yeah.
And he told me to relax. Oh, like I'm crying. Yeah. And he's like, can you please just relax? I'm burned in my brain.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, not this man.
Anyway. So I like that they showed that.
I like that too.
On the flip side, let's talk about the creepy thing that happened in this episode. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Can you say Molly's sister?
Yeah.
The 28-year-old?
Yes.
Yeah.
28-year. What is it on the show with older women and teenage boys?
I know. Now he does say he's 18, and she's like, "Oh,
but
good."
Still,
well, I know it's still 28.
He's in
way,
high school.
Way older. Yeah,
he is in high school.
And also, like,
why do you want that?
You know what it reminded me of? And I just thought of this. Shelly in the restaurant, the one who was hitting on Henry. I was like, do any women really talk like this?
I'm saying,
well, like she was. You think so?
Yes.
Yes.
Like I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the age.
Okay.
Okay.
Enough.
I have no problem with
what
women
I meant was not even that, but just like that she's so pushy. That she's
I have friends like that.
Okay. Well, dang.
Not me. Not me. But I do. I have friends like that. They're just like they just
look at the slightest sign of rejection. I'm gone. I'm hiding in a cave somewhere under a blanket. Like nope. Like, I tried. Listen, I give up.
If anything ever happens to Katie and our husband, we'll be single the rest of our lives. We will just be those old
too
ladies.
Awkward.
Yeah, we are.
And also, just I wouldn't even know if someone was hitting on me.
Oh my God, same.
I would not know.
Me either.
You'd have to tell me, but you might not know.
I wouldn't know either. We would just be living along.
You'd be like, "Oh, that guy was nice, being nice to you, or that lady, or whatever."
You know what it is, though. I'm always on alert for creepiness, so I would just think everybody's creepy.
Me too.
I'm just like, you're just creepy.
Which is kind of unfortunate that creeps have made it
I know,
that way.
Because
if someone genuinely just wants to be flirtatious with you, it is like, ugh.
Yeah,
like,
unless it's a gay man who just is trying to make, they're flirting in like a platonic way. Love that.
Just keep like doing that. Just like a playful way.
Yeah, keep doing that.
That's fine.
That feels lovely.
We'll take that.
But anyway,
yeah, I did not like that.
That was so
creepy.
It's like, why do we keep going back to this on this show?
I don't know.
It's repetitive.
And I mean, I guess in this context, he needed a reason to say he was gay for the plot point.
But could they made her their age?
Right.
Like, why'd she have to be 28?
She's a big sister. Couldn't she just be a 18? College age or 18-year-old big sister?
Yeah, that was weird.
I
just didn't like that.
I didn't like that.
Anyway.
Okay. So this was one of the scenes where I was like, oof. This is hurting my heart. When Mitch and Dawson have the chat about the pregnancy.
Oh, I know.
And Mitch is talking about how he always wanted a big family, a house full of children. And I'm just thinking about James Van Der Beek's gigantic family.
I know.
And looking at him at this age, knowing this person on the scrreen right now had no clue.
I know.
And then you think about your own life and you're like, when I was that age and like, I didn't know like and it doesn't even have to be children. It can just be what your life was going to be like, who you were going to spend time with, where you're going to live, what your job was going to be, the experiences that you've had from being that age that Dawson is in that scene to the age we are now, which is still a pretty great age. We've still got a lot going for us,
and lots more years, hopefully.
And that was a really lovely scene on its own. It was written really well.
It really was, yeah.
And then to think about now, I was just like,
it's a lot.
This is a lot.
I know.
This is a lot.
It's a lot. I know, because I think part of being middle-aged, especially in your 40s. People say it's midlife crisis. I don't really think, I think it's just a midlife awareness where you start thinking of things like that. Like, yeah, it's not that you have a mortality issue. It's just thinking, dang, like life is a lot different than I thought it would be, whether it's better or worse. Because we all have those ideas when we're young. Oh, I'm going to be doing this and that. And that hardly ever happens. Like we can't predict what's going to be. And I think, seeing that, especially like when Mitch was talking about kids and he's like, I wanted a house full of love. And he's like, oh, I have that. And I'm like, oh, I was crying.
Me too.
Then I cried when Dawson talked to his mom.
Oh, I know.
See, I'm going to cry right now.
I know, me too.
And he's like, you're the best mom I ever had. Or no, I've ever known.
Wow. Way to really mess that one up.
That's so typical.
You gotta laugh though. You gotta laugh. Okay.
Okay.
We need
where
a little
he
laugh.
said you're the best mom I've ever known.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, because Dawson, and I mean, that's the thing about pregnancy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it comes back to the woman carrying the baby, but it affects, right, the whole family and the whole circle of people in your life. And so Dawson was struggling either way, struggling with the idea of not being the only child anymore, but then also I'm almost a grown up, but then also didn't love the idea of like not having the sibling once he'd adjusted to it. So,
well, and he was worried about his parents too.
He was worried about his parents.
He was like, they're broke, like they're
I mean, yeah.
He's like, they're trying to get by with this restaurant, and I'm not going to be there, and like he was worried. And I mean, that's a valid thing to be worried about.
Absolutely.
And they're older.
They're older.
I mean, that's valid.
That is valid. Totally valid. Yeah. I have no idea why I wrote this down.
Okay.
Please help. Natasha Boyardee.
Oh,
what
because that was Jack's fake girlfriend's name.
Yes, thank you.
When Andie's like
his girlfriend Natasha who?
Natasha Boyardee.
That's why. That's so
God.
funny.
Did you ever? Okay, you may not have done this like I did. I remember being in college, going out and like we'd meet people at like creepy guys and we'd give them fake names.
Of course. Yeah.
And I was trying to remember
and fake numbers.
Yeah. Like some of the stupid names and I could not remember any.
I had this horrible habit.
Do you remember?
Of giving myself a fake name, but telling them my friend's real name. I didn't mean to.
Oh my God.
But and one of my friends' names, she listens to this podcast. Hey girl. And she will remember this. Her name's Veronica. And I would be like, I'm Laura, and this is Veronica.
Oh my God.
Which is not a very common
Throw
name.
her under the
and
bus.
she would just be like,
thanks.
Hello? Why are you doing this? Veronica Boyardee. That's what I'm going to start calling her.
Oh my God, that's
I'm going to let her know. That's your new name.
I don't think
No, it's Natasha. I'm saying I'll just call my friend that.
Oh my gosh.
Because...
And speaking of Jack, I just felt so bad for him.
I know.
And I was thinking about how those kids quit the team and said he was dangerous or whatever, which is just makes me so sad how that whole narrative about mostly gay men and pedophilia stuff makes me so mad.
I know.
Because that narrative has been around forever and it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And he knew that. He's like, working with kids, I don't want to say. And he was right. And it was just so sad. But then the little girl was like, I know you're not dangerous. I was like, oh.
Right. And obviously the little girl's parents also knew that.
Right.
Because she's like, they called my dad, but she's there at practice. So that was a good setup too. Yeah. Because it was like some parents are being like this, but others aren't.
Right.
And I think they did a really good job setting up what a good coach he was. Like Andie was very awkward, and here he comes. He's like, all right, raise your hand if you want to have fun and eat pizza.
Yeah.
And like right away you're like, oh man, this guy's great with this team. Like he's good.
It's
like pizza. I'm like, I should be using that more in my work with children. We're gonna have fun and have pizza.
Yeah.
And so that was just a good setup and not even exaggeration. Like, if you literally know a gay man at all in your life, like like the nuances of just being an individual, right? And not, it doesn't all have this narrative. So I thought that was really sad, but then I was also like, man, like how long ago was that?
I know, it wasn't even that long
ago. We're even like dealing with it still.
I know. Ugh. It made me think too. I remember like my sister and I were talking about this not long ago. like my mom was not perfect. Okay.
Mhm.
She had her things, but the one thing we always say she did right was we were raised in a very open house, and like to the point where my parents had friends of all backgrounds, all gender expressions, all sexualities, all
Mhm.
nationalities. And I mean, I can remember having friends because I mean, I grew up in the South. So, like, unfortunately, the South is rampant with hate for all kinds of people.
Yeah.
One of my favorite babysitters that my mom would have watch us was a lesbian, and she was very out, and we loved her so much. And I can remember a friend of mine saying something to me one time about that.
Wow.
And as a kid, and I can't remember now what it was, but I was like, to me, it was so weird because it was the first time I had heard somebody say something negative about being gay. Like because I was a small kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, it just did not click for me.
Well, that's
because
good.
the only gay people I knew were lovely, wonderful, fabulous people. And I just didn't understand. And then, of course, I got older and saw how people are just mean and saying things.
Right.
So I will say, like, that is something that my parents did very well. There was lots of things they didn't, as we do as parents. But I am grateful that was never, that was never a narrative that was pushed onto me, especially living where we lived.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
No, that's a great takeaway. Absolutely.
All right. Too serious. Let's move on.
So I said, Gretchen, I'm loving her character more and more.
I really like her.
Loved her in these episodes.
Really?
Yeah, I really like her.
Okay.
And I wrote down Geoprism.
Oh,
because
yes.
she said that's where she got
I had
pregnant
a
or
Geostorm.
whatever. Oh,
that
love
was my first car. I wrecked
Yeah.
it 2 weeks after I had it.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
And those are kind of like known for being smaller vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
Very small, which was what made that funny. And when I said it's another water talk,
I know.
her and Dawson are on the bridge by the water.
I quit
just
keeping
put
track.
It down here. Like
I quit keeping track.
Important conversation. They're on the water. I loved when Joey said she's the oldest 17-year-old in Capeside.
Yeah.
That was a really good line because Bessie's like, you're 17 and I have to look out for you. And she's like, Bessie, I'm the oldest 17-year-old in Capeside. She's right. But I get where Bessie's coming from. And then Bodie and the baby.
And Bodie's back. Hello.
Bodie's back. Just and he's holding the baby at the end. I was like, hello, there they are.
It's almost like they throw them in every now and then so you don't forget about them.
And you're like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, let's put Bodie and the baby in
Let's put Bodie and the baby. And Bodie is saying all the right things, basically being like, Bessie just wants you to be able to do the things you want to do. And so she's worried about you.
Valid.
Which makes sense.
Valid 100%.
And Bessie's her parent, for better or for worse.
It's hard for Bessie because she has to be parent and sister.
I know.
That's tricky.
It's like you want to have like the sisterly, like kind of chit chat about the sex, but then you also have to be the parent to make sure that it's safe and all the things. So that's a tough spot for Bessie.
It really is.
All right, that's all I had on that episode.
Okay. So moving on, season 4, episode 6, called Great Xpectations. Summary is Andie's effort to celebrate her admission to Harvard ends up endangering her life.
Yeah, that
so I have to admit, I think I got confused. Remember last time I said
you thought that Jen took it?
I thought that Jack took the ecstasy.
Yes.
Because I was like, oh, he had the shoulder stuff, and I think there's like a pain pill situation. I think I totally just created that in my brain.
Not. We'll see.
I don't know, but I feel like as soon as I watched this, I was like, wait, maybe I was thinking of Andie.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I remember somebody going to the hospital.
So
I'm like, I think I've remembered that all wrong.
Okay. So yes. So it opens with Andie getting her acceptance letter to Harvard.
Which was so funny because it's like so tiny and like,
yeah.
He like runs there.
Yeah. Jack.
Yeah.
With the library. But like everyone's all excited and that was really funny. And then when they're in the CD store, they being Dawson and Gretchen, she mentions a group called Morchiba.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
Me either. I wrote it down and she was like, it's a little bit this and a little bit Bismarcky and a little bit spooky. And I was like, I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, me either. And then I just put a rave in Capeside.
I know. Okay.
Hello.
So so let's talk about rave culture for a minute.
Let's do it.
It was right in our teen life. I never went to one.
Me either. I was thinking you had.
I know, same.
Thinking you had?
Well, yeah. And then I was like, wait. I swear, I'm like, wait, no, I never actually went to a rave.
Me either.
I can remember. Well, and here's the part of it. Like, drugs were a big part of raves back then.
They were.
And I know raves still happen now. And I mean, drugs are always going to be everywhere. I feel like it's not as big a part of the rave culture. Like, I know a lot of people who are ravers and they don't do drugs.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's probably why
you didn't go.
Yeah,
Same with me,
because I mean I did underage drinking in high school, I did a little pot smoking, but I never have done hard drugs because I'm terrified of them. Literally terrified. And I did appreciate how they showed in this episode that when Andie took it with her medication, it almost fucking killed her, because that is something that with antidepressants and mood stabilizers, you have to be so careful with. Like, so careful.
Yeah, I appreciated that too.
Yeah.
Because I think this narrative that like you take a drug one time and you almost die is almost too much.
It's too, yeah.
Because it's almost unbelievable. It does happen.
Oh yeah, it can. Absolutely.
It can, but I think by the time we were the age that we would have seen this episode the first time, we were almost desensitized to that because we'd seen it in other PSAs and made for TV movies and heard it in our schools. One time you could die, and you just kind of get to the point where you're like, okay, and you have friends or you know people who have done drugs and none of them died. Right. So I appreciated that this was like more of like a nuanced, it's not just that, it's like whatever else is happening in your life mixed with the thing. And that's true for alcohol. That's true for anything, any drug. Oh yeah. Right? Like prescription stuff. Doesn't matter. Like there's certain prescriptions you can't take together. 100%. Like that freaking time I accidentally took. Yeah. Anyway, long story, everyone. But I'm okay now.
Yeah.
And just because I didn't read the labels on something.
Well, and that's the hard thing about street drugs is that you don't know exactly what's in it.
True.
And so you don't know how it's going to affect your body and all that. And listen, my mom was an ER nurse for a long time. So I heard all kind of crazy stories about OD and like taking something that you think is one thing and it's not. And I've never partaken, which is funny because I had no problem living on the edge with other things, but drugs I never did. I just never did. But speaking of raves, their attire for this rave was shitty.
It was horrible. What was this?
Nobody
was not
wore
fun.
those clothes. Like the people, the extras, understood the assignment.
Yes.
And where were the glow sticks? They didn't have enough glow sticks.
Pacey had one on his head.
I know, but like you remember that dancing?
I remember.
With the girl? Okay,
there were not nearly enough. I did write down that I loved Joey and hoop earrings.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh, she looks like Katie.
She did. That's it. She did. And I was like, okay, Joey and hoops. I'm here for that.
But wasn't that funny? Like that was her one thing she put on,
right? Because otherwise she had like this long sleeves and like jeans, and her hair was just down.
You don't wear that because like the whole point of a rave is to dance, right? It's like it's EDM, and that maybe that's another thing. I wasn't really into that electronica music back then. I love it now.
Yeah.
Like Cooper can't stand it when I'm like in the mood and I put it on. He's like, can we listen to that?
Can we not listen to this? Or I loved how they were going bounce or dance. Are we going to go bounce or dance?
I'm like, that sounds so fun.
I was thinking the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounded fun.
Bounce or dance. Let's go.
But their outfits were not really it.
I was like, hello?
You would expect Dawson to not really understand the assignment because it's Dawson, but like, I don't know. Gretchen
was like, had her little shirt. I was like, no, what are you wearing?
Like you would wear that to dinner.
You wear like
with
clothes
your
that you can dance in, that you can sweat in, that you can move in, and that are bright and fun, like to stand out with the black light, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Isn't that like we know?
I think so. And it's just supposed to be kind of like feral in a way.
Yeah,
like your hair and your like. I mean, you're not supposed to be so buttoned up. Which is what they were.
Correct. It's supposed to be out
a party.
there. It's supposed to be out there. I was like, what is this clothes? It's middle-aged men writing a scene. Yeah. What they think a rape.
Like, and then I kind of felt like they could all just like leave and go to Red Lobster right now. Like, right. Hello.
Well, also too, I always think it's so funny in TV shows and movies when they're in loud fucking parties and bars and they're able to have conversations at a normal volume.
Right. Because I guess you have to.
But I know.
But it is funny.
But they need to be like, let's go outside. Like, that's what they need to do.
That's what they need to do. Yes.
But this also made me remember a movie that Katie Holmes was in around this time about trying to, I think it was called Go. I gotta look it up.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
And it had rave in it, didn't it? I'm going to look it up.
So.
Let's keep talking and I'm
All
going
right.
to look it
So
up.
what I was going to say is I loved when, this is pre-rave, when Jen's in the computer lab and you hear, "You've got mail."
I know. I wrote that. I put the IMAX and the AOL.
You've got mail.
Uh-huh.
And then the mail is just an attachment of the party invitation.
I know. I was
which
like,
was so
what?
great.
That
Which
was
is so great.
Funny.
I loved it.
Oh my God.
And then, another good line and another great reference was when Dawson comes home from somewhere. This is before he goes to the rave because he wasn't going to go. And then he comes home and there's all the balloons in the kitchen. And his parents decide they're going to have the baby.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Did Publishers Clearinghouse stop by? Like, what's going on?" And I was like, that is so subtle,
era,
but so good. And like the balloons are everywhere. And you're like, yeah, that's what it looks like.
I know.
And if you don't know what that is, y'all are young.
I know.
Look it up, okay?
I always had dreams of winning that.
Me too.
I would
everybody did.
send in, you'd get the thing in the mail. I would be the one that would open it and send it in.
Me
I
too.
wanted my parents to win.
Me too. No balloons ever came to. No Ed McMahon at our door.
Obviously, we wouldn't be here right now.
We wouldn't be here.
So
what did you find out about Katie Holmes's movie?
So yes, the movie Go. And oh God, she was so good in this because it was everything against what Joey was. And it came out in 99. So it was around this time. It's about, I'm trying to think what her name was. Oh, okay. So here's the summary. Grocery store clerk Simon occasionally sells drugs from his cash register at work. So when soap opera actors Adam and Zach come looking for ecstasy on a quiet Christmas Eve, they're surprised to find Rana covering his shift. That's not Katie. Desperate for money, Rana decides to become an impromptu drug dealer, unaware Adam and Zach are secretly working for obsessed narcotics officer Burke. I feel like that was way too much.
So who is Katie Holmes?
She plays a girl named Claire.
Okay.
I'm trying to see. Oh, sorry. My font is like ginormous. I just heard your wind chimes go off.
Yeah, I think it's Gina. She's just
here's some of the people who are in it. Oh, it has intertwining plots involving 3 sets of characters. I was like something. I remember it was something, and somebody in there is trying to go to a rave and buy drugs, and buy ecstasy, and then there's like all these missed identities. Anyway, so here's some of the people that are in it: William Fisher, I don't know who that is. Katie Holmes, Jay Moore, Sarah Polley, Scott Wolf, Tay Diggs, Breckenmeyer, Timothy Oliphant, Desmond Askew, Jane Krakowski, Melissa McCarthy in her film debut.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to see it. And look, the image, it says life begins at 3 a.m.
Nice. I remember that.
It's
like
a good
yellow
movie.
And red. I remember
it's
that.
Kind of edgy or whatever. And I'm trying to see where her character comes in. And anyway, keep talking.
Okay,
I'm going to find it as we chit chat.
Publishers Clearinghouse. I already said the thing about Joey's hoops. I did write that down.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Found it. This is the good part. So when this chick Rana is trying to buy drugs, she can't pay the full amount, so she leaves her friend Claire as collateral while she goes get money.
Oh no,
that's what it was. I was trying to remember, and then there's there's a rave. They sell fake ecstasy. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
We might need to watch this.
I think that should be maybe after spooky season.
Yeah, I think so.
We should put that on our list after spooky.
It's very Christmassy
holiday.
It is a Christmas. It does take place on Christmas Eve.
True. That'd be kind of fun to watch this holiday season, to watch holiday movies that are kind of not holiday movies.
Like Gremlins,
like Die Hard.
I fucking hate Die Hard, but
I'll
watch it.
But like that.
I'll watch it.
And Go. And if there's any others,
my family always fucking wants to watch Die Hard. And I'm like, I'm leaving. I hate action movies like that. Unless they're superheroes. I know, that don't make sense. Anyway.
You're good.
I don't have hardly anything.
I said that
that's all I have.
I thought it was also interesting, the writing around how Andie didn't feel anything about Harvard.
Okay. So personal experience with this. I've been on a few antidepressants in my life. The first one I took was when I had postpartum issues after Caden.
Okay.
And I took one, and that's exactly how it made me feel. In the sentence where she said, I know that it's supposed to kind of numb the lows, but it also numbs the highs.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt. And it's weird because you have to feel like that for a while, because you're just trying to survive, right? When you're if you've never been on antidepressants, let me tell you how an experience can go. Whether you're depressed or you're anxious, you need something to get you out of there. But sometimes if you're on the wrong kind of one or a certain type of one, it can just make you feel level, but you have no highs or lows. It's just neutral. So when she said that, I was like, that makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
Because that's why I ended up getting off of that one and I never went back on it. The next time around, when I had to take them again, I said to my doctor, I don't want to be on this drug because this is how it made me feel.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, okay, well, we'll try a different type. And that one worked because it took off the lows, but I still was able to feel like myself because I didn't feel like myself because I am not a neutral person, like
right
at all. And neither is Andie.
No, neither is Andie.
Like I feel like when she feels something, she feels it 1,000%. Same for me. And that sucks when you're feeling sad because you feel it 1,000%. It's not just a drip drop. It's a lot.
Yeah. Oh man.
But that means when you have your highs, they're very, very exciting and high. So you have to have that neutral feeling for a while just to get you out of that. And then you kind of have to shift your meds and all the things.
Right.
So I totally understood that.
And again, I can't think back to necessarily when I first saw that, but that concept that you've just described, I don't think I really had heard or understood until later than this, like in my life. And so I think that was an important perspective to have in this, what you've just described, because one, then if you ever are using them for the first time and you feel that way, you don't think it's you, or you're like, oh wait, this is what happened
and
there.
It's a really common side effect.
Or if you're already on it and you feel that way, then you kind of feel seen.
Yeah.
Because you're like, this is supposed, but, and even antidepressants aside, that happens sometimes anyway.
True.
When you are really holding out for this one thing, and when you get the one thing or the one thing happens and you're like, oh, right. Which is, as we get older and the age we are now, you know, I'm trying to get better at like not always just focusing on that end goal.
Right.
Because I've gotten to those before and
it's
felt
anticlimactic, right?
Instead, being like, yes, I would like to get to this point. I'm going to enjoy everything along the way, or I'm not going to expect it to change my life or to be whatever. I'm just going to see what happens.
Yeah.
You know? And so I thought, for both things, for the antidepressant reason and just life in general, sometimes the big moment doesn't feel the way you think it should.
Yeah.
And that happens.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Absolutely. And it can be anticlimactic. It's like, you know, a lot of people talk about that with their wedding, right? It's like so much buildup and then you get there and you're like, what? Didn't happen for me because we got married in Vegas and it was great. But
it was awesome. Yeah.
But you know, it can happen like that. You build up to this big event and then it's like, what? I feel tired. Like I don't
right. Or the moment passes and then you're like, now what?
Now what do I do?
This is what I've like invested. Definitely weddings are like that, right? And Christmas is kind of like that. Like it can be, you know, and you feel that little bit of letdown, even though the thing you wanted happened. You know, that's real life there.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they addressed that.
I really am. And I've already been coming around on this, but I'm really coming around on Jack and Andie's dad. I thought he was just right in this episode.
I'm glad they gave him that arc. I really am.
It's really working out because then obviously he's so excited about Harvard and that was really cute. And she's in the jacket. And then he's like, I'm going to go call all my alums. Yeah. And I thought that was cute. And then when they're in the hospital, right away, he's like, I'm not upset with you. But then it opened the door for Jack to be like, well, I am.
Right. And
why both
are you doing feelings are valid.
And I liked that though.
Yeah.
I thought that was a better presentation coming from Jack instead of the parent who you would assume would be like, what were you thinking? And blah, blah, blah. You're throwing your life away and this and that. The dad was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just glad you're safe.
Right.
And then the brother was like, you idiot. Why'd you do that?
And you know, sometimes as a parent, you feel both things at once.
Totally.
Like, you know, I've told my kids so many times, like, I'm glad you're okay, but I'm really upset with you.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
And it's okay. And I forgive you, but I still am upset with you. Sure. Like,
you shouldn't have done that.
Right.
Right.
So
I totally agree.
That's a hard thing as a parent, especially if it harmed
like
them.
That far. Yeah, that far. What did you think about the part where Drue? Oh, by the way, Drue. That is how Amazon and in the credits they spell his name. Drue. Drue Valentine. Right. When he said to Jen the thing about how, because the ecstasy came from Jen, sort of. Andie took it without Jen knowing, and Jen didn't encourage her to take it and that sort of thing. But then Drue's like, you know, wow, your friend sure turned on you fast.
and was basically like pointing out that they all kind of teamed up together on
Yeah, I
Team
thought that
Andie,
was
and
shitty.
they kind of left her out.
Well, and they
and
didn't
I
even
was like,
ask
he's
her.
not wrong.
He's not wrong. They didn't even ask her like what the deal was. Now, I do think she should have told. I understand, like she was trying to like keep it under wraps for Andie.
No.
She should have told Jack from the jump.
Also, this was weird. She was so worried about someone staying with Andie.
Oh, I know.
But then she didn't stay with her.
I know.
Like later on when she like comes back, she's like, where is she? I'm like, wait a minute. Why didn't you just?
I know. Well, she went to get water.
But come on.
I know. But I feel like she should have told Jack. But then they didn't need to blame her. Like she didn't know that Andie
Right.
took it. She didn't give it to her.
No.
It's not her fault.
No, it's not. It's not. But I just thought I was like, they are pretty quick to turn on Jen sometimes.
I know.
And Drue Valentine is not wrong.
I know.
Although he's kind of sleazy and just trying to work it all to his advantage. But like, I was like, he's not wrong.
He's not.
So Andie is okay.
Yeah.
Yay. And I guess we'll see. What else did you have on this episode?
That's all.
That's all I had too. I just said I knew Andie would take X. Wow. Good for me. Picking up on the
I knew she would do it.
I predicted it, you guys. They must have done something in the writing that led me there. I really like these episodes.
I know.
Hard hitting stuff. I mean it. I was like crying in both.
I know, same.
Parts,
I was too.
and I was like soul searching, and I was just like,
well, I don't
think I can do this anymore.
I think they probably just hit different this week too because of the reunion.
100%,
100%. Because I watched these yesterday, so it was like a lot. Or well,
yeah.
Was it? What is
I watched
today?
them yesterday too.
Was it yesterday or day before?
Yeah, but the reunion was
Monday. So I think I watched them.
Maybe Tuesday.
Anyway, I watched it after the reunion sometime. I don't even know what day
it's like intertwining with the reunion content we're seeing and what we're watching. Yeah.
And so many people, I don't know, have people message you like the stuff.
Yeah.
So many people have not, they'd be like, did you see this? And I'm like, yes, who am I?
I've seen everything. Hello. But all right. Well, thank you guys for sticking with us for season 4.
Yeah, we're going to keep on.
And sending out in the universe all our love to James Van Der Beek and his family. And we'll see you next time on Dawson's Creek Rewatch here on Generation in Between. Bye. Thanks, guys. Bye.